All right, guys, so today we're going to be breaking down this peek back technique here. We're going to be talking about what that serves to do, how you don't want to lean back on this peek technique, and then how we can make this catch over the top. So you see how he gives him this little hesitation, skip, release, but the main thing I want to focus on is top of the route, okay? He's going to be running this corner route here, and I want to talk about how this peek back technique is something a little bit underthrown ball, obviously, right, but we don't know the circumstances, but we got to be able to make that play. We got to be able to bail my quarterback out. We'll talk about that in a second. So when we work this peek back, right, especially on a corner, it's important that when we work to restack, if we're going to work this peek, right, we've got to make sure that we sell it for at least a couple steps, right? If we're going to be working this peek, we got to sell this thing for at least maybe 3-4 steps, right? Because if we show this thing, let's say we're here and we show this thing only right before we cut. This DB's not supposed to be looking at my eyes anyways. What this peek back's supposed to be doing is it's supposed to be able to turn your body just a little bit. We're able to keep my bodies going forward somewhat. I'm not peeking back to the point where I lean back and my strides get shorter. I keep a good pad level going forward. I keep the same speed, but I'm shooting my eyes back to this quarterback to try to make this DB a little bit greedy and jump this thing to the inside because he should be watching your hips, right? He's not looking at your eyes. So, but if you peek back for this ball, it sells like we're just going to get this seam and they're just going to dump it straight over the top to us. But then it's important that I'm very sudden with my break. And you see that's exactly what this receiver does. He doesn't reach out for his break, doesn't give an indicator. He's peeking over that shoulder, keeps the same stride, and then he just pops that cut in the ground right now. That's how we're able to get separation on this thing. And you see how he's reaching to try to grab a hand. DB's not in a horrible position, but again, this guy does a great job of keeping his head down, driving those arms, and widening this gap. Throw was a little bit underthrown. I think if we put this thing over the top, it's an easier completion, but that's a great job focusing on being late with your hands, right? This guy's trailing my hips. I don't want to show too early with my hands to give him time to react. Let's be late. Let's let that thing fall right in the bucket, and let's make sure I catch and then secure it, okay? So this is a great overall rep here. Let's watch it again full speed. So when we work this peek back, eyes for a little bit, don't lean back. It's just a little glance. Be sudden with that cut. Keep your head down and drive to widen the gap with the DB.